8:35, everybody. The tax filing deadline just a few days away. Can you believe it? And if you're feeling the pressure, you are not alone.
Tax season is the worst season. Here to help us navigate last-minute filing is tax expert and CEO of Brooks Alliance, Shaquanna Brooks. Thank you so much for being here, bringing us your knowledge.
Yes.
So, is there any new forms, new ways to file that we should know about for this year?
So no new forms. However, there are updates that obviously we need to know about. So the standard deduction has increased. That's very important when we're considering standard deduction versus itemized. Another thing that the freelancers, contractors, gig workers need to be mindful of is if you are doing any sort of transactions, you will receive a 1099-K. That limit used to be $20,000. The IRS has now lowered it to $5,000. So there's a lot more 1099s that they should receive in the mail.
Yeah.
So that is very important. And then just making sure that you file your taxes with all of your documents.
I'm not good with this math. So lowering it means what for them? That they'll get more money back?
No. That means
Did they claim more?
Yeah. So typically before they would not receive that form in the mail until they have
20K.
made 20K.
Right.
Now, if they have made 5K, right, they are going to receive. Yeah, they're going to receive that form in the mail. So that's very important, right? So I think that that's very important. And then making sure that all taxpayers are filing their taxes with all of their documents. You would not believe how many people are filing their taxes with missing W-2s, with missing 1099s, mortgage interest forms, and the IRS has reports of all of these things. So we want to make sure that we're filing our taxes with all of our documents to avoid an audit. You did that?
Missing form. I had a missing form, and luckily I said, why do I owe so much in taxes? This is disgusting. I can't handle this. And then we went over it, my accountant and I went over everything, and he said, wait a minute, did you contribute to a retirement fund? I said, yes, I gave you the form. He said, oh, but there's another form that you need with that. And I gave it to him, and it reduced my taxes significantly. So that's a question. If people, can they contribute to a retirement fund and maybe save on what they owe, or maybe get some money back right now up until April 15th?
Yes, so you're good. And I love this because every time someone owes, they're like, no, I need to get on it. So I love this. So yes, the answer is yes, you can contribute to a traditional IRA up to $7,000, and that is considered what's called an above-the-line tax deduction, which does bring your AGI down, which in turn is going to reduce your tax liability or increase your refund.
Boom, bop, bam.
Exactly, because that's the thing, and you know from previous years what you owe versus not owe, and so on and so forth, right? So, and I guess for families too, because this is something I learned new this year, that you can write off certain things. You can't itemize as much as you used to, but if you're a first-time parent, if you have a child in daycare or so on and so forth, you can write these things off.
Yes, absolutely. So you always can write off your childcare, but what is really important is making sure that you keep documentation.
Right.
So people sometimes are paying babysitters and paying for childcare, and they may pay cash and then they have no receipt. The big thing with the IRS is keeping those receipts. So if you do have a child and you are paying for childcare, make sure you keep those receipts.
But you can't write off like a babysitter.
You can childcare, yes, you can. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
okay.
you have some new tax deductions.
Let me go back and talk to my accountant. And in terms of filing right now, is online the best way to do it?
So it depends. So you have a few different options, right? If you are going to file online, I would say if you do not have, let's just say you just have a W-2, no problem. Go ahead, file. But if you have investments, if you have a business, if you are a contractor, you're doing Uber, DoorDash, any of those things, then you want to work with an accountant. So one thing to know is that if your AGI is less than $84,000, then you can file with the IRS for free. However, I do suggest that you highly consider that, because let's say here in New York, you can file for free if your AGI is 48,000. You know, so it's like they need to get on the same page. So I do suggest just considering those things when considering if you're going to file online. And then obviously, as I mentioned, if you do just have a W-2, then you know, you can possibly file on like a TurboTax, but if not, you do need to work with an accountant to make sure that you're not missing those deductions, right? Because if your accountant didn't ask you that, you would have owed more.
But so let me go back to this childcare thing, because there are so many New Yorkers that pay their nanny or pay their babysitter off the books, right? So how do you prove how much you're giving someone a week? And then can't you get dinged from maybe paying quite a bit?
So your credit is going to be max, right? So you only are going to be able to receive up to a certain amount. It depends on your child's age. It depends on your AGI. So all of those things play a part. However, if you are paying them with cash, you still need to keep some sort of record of it. You need to say, hey, this is how much I paid. You need to get some sort of receipt. You need to have some sort of documentation for the IRS as well as the state, because most people are like really afraid of the IRS, but the state will also come after you and audit you to say, hey, we need proof that you actually paid this person.
And real quick, what if you owe, but you can't pay it all at once?
So if you owe and you cannot pay it all at once, it's not the end of the world. You are going to incur interest and penalties. However, if you owe and you cannot afford it, you just need to call either the IRS or the state and get into a payment plan that you can afford. They're actually not that scary and not that bad as long as you're communicating with them.
Yeah. Okay. Shaquanna, you're full of information. All right.
Thank you.
Good stuff. A reminder, everybody, the tax deadline is this Tuesday, okay, April 15th. Good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you.